A Chinese spy just got caught over here? Oh, Lord, what in the hell? It's a mayor? Wait, what? What in the hell?
Listen to this. Arcadia, California Mayor Eileen Wang agreeing to plead guilty after being charged with acting as an agent for the Chinese government. DOJ says from 2020 through 2022, Eileen and her then fiance ran a website called U.S. News Center that branded itself as a news source for Chinese Americans.
Wow.
Wang resigning after the charge, quote, "The decision is personal in nature and does not reflect my love and commitment to Arcadia, which will always remain strong. But when confronted by our affiliate to give her residents an answer, Eileen refused."
Excuse me, Miss Wang. Can we speak with you about these allegations? Is there anything you want to say to constituents?
Oh, my.
Political strategist, lawyer, and someone who lived in China for years, Katie Zacharia, joins me now. Katie, U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley said it should, quote, terrify Americans that she was able to rise to the highest levels of local office. So, Katie, how the heck did that happen?
I'll tell you, this is probably something that's been happening forever.
Well, if you go out to Arcadia, which I visited a number of times, it's basically become Little China. And I don't mean the cute San Francisco Chinatown that we all were familiar with. This actually feels like a version of Beijing. And what do I mean by that? They don't speak English. They eat completely like local Chinese food that they source right from China. And honestly, you'd be hard pressed to find any English speaking people in the whole vicinity of the San Gabriel Valley, which has essentially been taken over by the Chinese. And I don't actually mean that hyperbolically, Todd. I mean that because I've lived in China. I go to Arcadia to get local Chinese food and maybe refresh my Mandarin, but it doesn't feel like the United States. So it's no surprise to me that we had someone who was acting on behalf of Beijing as a foreign agent running Arcadia because the place feels like China.
You lived in China, you know how the CCP operates. Katie, is this just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Americans being tricked into allowing, quite frankly, for lack of a better phrase, Chinese spies to infiltrate our government at the local, state, and federal level?
Yes, Todd, and with these sanctuary...
Man, you remember before when that damn balloon was just floating right over the whole United States and Biden and his folks ain't do nothing about it. Remember that?
Jurisdictions similar to California, there needs to be a wholesale review of not just legal permanent residents, but people who are here from adversarial countries. We just had, for instance, an Iranian arms dealer living just down the road from me, whose green card needs to be reevaluated by USCIS under the Department of Homeland Security. There has to be a complete takedown of these green card holders, and they need to be sent back home. This woman, Eileen Wang, she's only getting 10 years. That's actually kind of offensive as a United States citizen. This person was acting as a foreign agent on behalf of the CCP, Todd. There should be no grace. They literally should be sent back to the People's Republic of China.
So concerning. And you have to think, if this is happening in one town in California, it could be happening in others, because I hate to bring up Mr. Swalwell because he's no longer in the California governor's race, but the leader on the Democratic side was tied to a Chinese spy, and I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times, you know, you got an operation going, you get different people to infiltrate all over the country.
From one coast to the other, happening today, the House back in session for the first time since the Virginia Supreme Court struck down that state's redistricting attempt. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries writing the following in a letter yesterday. Quote, Republican extremists spent the last few days applauding their ongoing effort to rig the midterm elections based on two egregious judicial decisions dripping with far-right partisanship. We remain undeterred. Our effort to forcefully push back against the Republican redistricting scheme will not slow down. Katie, he says we're just getting started, but what exactly are they getting?
All right, so that's enough about, that's all they got about the spy. Wow. 10 years in prison. Good Lord. The big house. Oh, I need more details on this. Like, what was she doing? Like, I want specifics. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Post the comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all got any more information? Let me know. 10 million subscribers. Damn.